I just got fully approved for the new Walmart OnePay credit card with an $8,000 limit. And I was able to see my limit before accepting the offer. And one of my community members, Sean, just ran the same play and got approved for a $9,000 limit. And Kendra got approved for $6,000 without a hard credit pull at all. So if you want to avoid a hard credit pull and see what you qualify for first, this one is gonna be for you. The thing is, I'm literally, sitting here shaking my head because this card should be a slam dunk no-brainer for almost everyone that's watching this video. But soon you're gonna see why a surprising number of you wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot stick once you learn who's really behind it. And don't forget, I just added a link to this card inside of my free credit card pre-approval master list. I even just added 15 cards to the list, and I keep it updated weekly now. It now has over 110 lenders on it that you can get pre-approved for without a hard credit pull. I'll leave a link to that below so you can check it out. Now, if you're anything like me, you've walked out of Walmart with a cart full of groceries and thought, man, I wish I was getting more than like 2% back on this. Well, now you can with this card. It's going to earn you 1.5% back everywhere, just a solid base rate. Nothing groundbreaking, but it keeps you earning even when you're outside of Walmart. Then you're going to get 3% back at Walmart. That means your weekly grocery haul, those last minute runs for the kids' school supplies, or even grabbing a flat tire repair kit, all at 3% back. And then you're going to get 5% back if you've got Walmart Plus. I think this is the real hook, because if you're already paying for Walmart Plus, or you jump in during one of those $49 promos, suddenly your grocery pickups or your deliveries, even filling up at Walmart branded gas stations, that's going to jump to a 5% earning rate. And that's really Amazon Prime Visa territory, but for Walmart shoppers now. And there's no cap. So unlike some cards that make you, stop at $1,500 per quarter, this one keeps paying you out. So there's no cap on that earning rate. And if you're a heavy Walmart household, that can really add up fast. And you can redeem your rewards as a statement credit, basically lowering your bill, or as a deposit into your OnePay cash account. Now, what counts as Walmart or Walmart purchases? And this is really what, gets people tripped up. So I just want to spell it out very clearly here. Walmart stores, Walmart.com, the Walmart app, and even Walmart branded gas stations. What doesn't count is Sam's Club, random third-party sellers on Walmart.com, or something like a Subway sandwich shop or, some coffee shop inside of your local Walmart. Now, the issuer is Synchrony Bank. If you've had cards like the PayPal card, Amazon store card, Verizon Visa, you probably dealt with them before. Now, OnePay is just the shiny fintech face on the front of the card, but Synchrony is the one really making the lending decisions. The network is MasterCard, and it's a world tier MasterCard too. That means you get a bundle of perks like cell phone protection and concierge services, but those come directly from MasterCard, not from OnePay. The annual fee is $0, so it's free to use. Now, after running through the whole process myself, I can honestly say that this card looks like a win for most people. I started just like anyone else would. I hit the landing page, I clicked get started, and then I tap, see if I pre-qualify. That's always a safer move before diving kind of straight into a hard credit pull. All they asked for were the basics, name, address, and like a quick text verification. Nothing too heavy. And within seconds, the screen flashed back at me with an instant pre-approval for $8,000. That's always a great feeling. Never gets old. But for full transparency, here's where I stood at that time when I applied credit-wise. My Equifax FICO score was 763. Overall utilization was 14%. And I do have a prior existing relationship with Synchrony. I have a Verizon Visa card, Amazon store card, use that a ton, PayPal MasterCard, the Venmo card, the Car Care Amco card. A lot of people don't know about that one. And they're all in good standing. Now, at this point, Synchrony and I go way back. I've got about $80,000 plus in total credit with them now. Now, that history definitely doesn't hurt. If you're brand new to Synchrony, I would say that your mileage may vary. Now, here's where I got a little experimental. My plan was to freeze my credit reports to try to avoid a hard pull. So I froze Experian and Equifax online, and I got the green check mark saying it was done. TransUnion was already frozen thanks to a long-standing login issue that I have. But about a minute later, I went back and hit the button to accept my pre-approval offer. And then boom, I was approved. But then a few seconds later, Aura, which is my credit monitoring app, pinged me with an alert. It said hard inquiry from Equifax. So even though I froze that credit bureau, the system hadn't fully sealed up my credit report yet. So my takeaway for you is after freezing your credit report, wait like 5 to 15 minutes before you accept. Don't rush it like I did. Like I said earlier, Kendra got approved without a hard pull by doing the same process, but waiting a little longer than me, so it can work. Now, here's some good news. Once I was approved, I could log right away and see my $8,000 limit in the dashboard they set up for me. and that part felt smooth. Now, initially I found there was no virtual card that I could set up right away on my account, but several people have updated me and said that they could add the card to their OnePay account for immediate use in Walmart. But moving on, this card is getting plenty of love right now on the forums, but there's still one critical flaw that's hanging over it that I know a lot of you won't be able to get past. And I did mention it briefly earlier if you caught it. But let's start with the pros first. I would say a big pro is that it rewards fast. So one of the first things people notice is how quickly points show up after a purchase settles, within usually 1 to 3 days. There's no waiting until statement closes. So there's no feeling like your money is trapped. You can redeem right away. And for folks who've dealt with cards that hold your rewards hostage for a full month, this feels like instant payoff. And then everything runs through the OnePay app for the most part. So you don't have to mess with, Synchrony's clunky portal if you don't want to. So your balance, your payment, rewards, it's all in the OnePay app. And people are saying that alone makes this card easier to live with day to day. And finally, you get unlimited 5% at Walmart with Walmart Plus. With that Plus subscription, the card gives you 5% back in store, online, pickup, delivery, and even at those Walmart branded gas stations. For years, Walmart shoppers complained that the old Capital One card capped that benefit or only gave you 5% in the first year. Now it's unlimited. Oh, I completely forgot. They have soft pull pre-approvals that show your limit up front. This is huge. This is massive. You'll see your actual credit limit before you commit to a hard pull. There's no guessing. So for anyone protecting their credit score, that's a game changer. But there are a few cons. It does have a tiny sign-up bonus. So that $35 for $75 spend bonus, people are calling it a joke. And to be fair, store and co-branded cards rarely offer, Chase or Amex style sign-up bonuses. But if you're used to seeing those 50,000+ point, bonuses for, $4,000 in spend, this one's going to be disappointing. And budgeting apps don't play nice. A lot of people live by apps like Rocket Money or You Need a Budget or Every Dollar or Monarch. But several reports say that OnePay/Synchrony integration is spotty at best. Some people have managed to connect it up only because they already had another Synchrony card linked up. Others, it's been a total dead end. This is actually the main reason I ditched those budgeting apps a while ago. With so many of my cards not syncing up, it just turned into a wasted effort. Then there's no authorized users allowed. I learned this the hard way. Since my wife does almost all the grocery runs, I tried to add her on as an authorized user to no luck. That one missing feature turned what could have been, something great into a little bit of a headache for us. But this is the biggest issue. It's Synchrony's bad reputation. And let's be honest, Synchrony being involved with this card kind of kills all hope for some people. They're infamous for sudden limit cuts, account closures, and bad service. I even ran a poll with you guys, and Synchrony ranked as the most hated bank for chopping limits without warning. Personally, I've got over $80,000 in limits with Synchrony and haven't been burned yet, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't cautious. You can't just ignore years of documented horror stories with them. But I'd say this card is not for everyone. The OnePay Cash Rewards MasterCard is one of those cards where you either see the value immediately or you kind of just shrug it off and move on. So I would say this card makes sense for you if you just live in Walmart aisles. This card, in that case, practically is built for you. You're the person who knows the exact aisle number for great value cereal, or you do half of your grocery shopping through Walmart pickup and delivery every week. Then every cart that you push those sliding doors is essentially leaving money on the table without using this card. Or if you've got Walmart Plus, you're going to earn 5% back. And over the course of a year, that extra 2% over the base 3% adds up to real money, especially for families spending $1,000+ on monthly grocery runs. Or if you're someone who's looking to kind of pad out your total available credit limit and lower your utilization rate and add another approval to your scoreboard. Let's be honest. It feels great when you get another approval. I feel it too. But I would say this card is not for you, if you're hunting for big sign-up bonuses. So if you live for a 60,000 point welcome offer, that $35 sign-up bonus is going to feel like finding pennies under the couch cushions. And it's definitely not for you if you don't mess with Synchrony. And I get it. They've earned their reputation for random limit cuts and account closures. So if that's a deal breaker for you, nothing here is going to change that. And of course, if you barely shop at Walmart, like you're a Costco, Target, Kroger lover, this card isn't really moving the needle for you. In that case, it's basically just like a 1.5% flat rate card, and there's plenty of better options in the space for that. And if you found that this card really isn't for you, Maybe you don't shop at Walmart at all. Then there's another card that just popped up on my radar like a month ago. It's called the G Bank Visa card, and I've personally got a few people approved for that card with limits around the $10,000 mark. So check out the next video here to learn why this card could knock your current favorite out of the top spot and become your everyday go-to card. Thank you for watching.